When the pace of life pushes you to a constant run, it becomes harder and harder to catch your breath. You wake up tired in the morning and fall asleep exhausted at night. You feel a never-ending rush, a constant worry. Your responsibilities pile up, and it becomes difficult to find a way out. Your soul silently cries out for help as you are crushed under so much burden. You think that you are trapped in the same cycle every day, and you realize that you can never breathe a sigh of relief. However, one gets tired not only with one's physical body, but also with one's soul. Your heart is never ready to carry this fatigue because it cannot bear such a burden alone. What you are looking for is not just simple rest, but a much deeper peace. That's why the call of Jesus comes knocking on your door to relieve your restless weariness. Sometimes it's physical responsibilities, sometimes it's mental worries. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, the to-do list gets longer and longer. Each new task is like an additional burden on your shoulders. These burdens weigh down your soul as much as they occupy your mind. You begin to ask yourself, do I have to carry it all by myself? Human beings are not designed to carry so many things at once, but the pace of modern life imprints the idea of you have to do it in our minds. As you resist this pressure, you may feel stuck. This is where recognizing that you need help is the biggest step, because admitting that you need help is the first door to real rest. It is at this point that Jesus offers an invitation. Come, rest. He promises not only physical rest, but a peace that penetrates deep into the soul. This invitation points to a true relaxation that we all need. His words, come, leave all your weariness to me, flow like healing into the heart of man, for he knows man's frailty and his limitations. When we forget our own limits, he reminds us of them. He takes a heavy sack off our shoulders by saying, leave to me the burdens you do not have to carry. It is also a matter of trust and faith. You have the courage to surrender your weariness to him. So you let go of control and take refuge in a source of true peace. There is hope in Jesus' invitation because his burden is light and the steps on the path he offers are covered with mercy. Come to me, O weary and burdened one, has been ringing in the ears of humanity for centuries. These words have not only remained in the dusty pages of the past, they still resonate as a living, consoling voice. Nowadays, everyone is busy with something. Everyone carries invisible bags, some with worries, some with regrets, some with responsibilities, some with future concerns. Jesus' call is to put down these invisible bags, because after all, we were not created to be stuck on an endless treadmill. Our most basic need is to stop and catch our breath, even to take a deep breath and nourish our soul. By saying, take my yoke upon you, he wants to free man from all these efforts. For in his yoke there is no tightness, but rather a liberating sense of lightness. It is a divine gift that brings serenity in place of weariness and tranquility in place of restlessness. Many of us think that rest is only a physical need. Of course, we need sleep, nourishment, and some breaks. But the soul needs a break just as much, if not more. A spiritual pause is necessary to quiet the voices in your inner world, to ease anxieties, and to find true peace. Jesus suggests that we make this spiritual pause a part of our lives, because although we may look strong on the outside, inside we may be storming. May your soul be refreshed is less about external help and more about peace that comes from within. He knows you better than you know yourself when you don't even know yourself. Therefore, he also sees where your soul is worn out and offers healing there. That is why the rest he offers not only rests the body but refreshes the soul. The rest that Jesus offers is not a time to be idle or to escape from responsibilities. Rather, it is a process of renewal and regeneration. When you lay down your burdens, you feel light enough to leap up again. This lightness doesn't remove your responsibilities altogether, but it makes you see them in a different light. When you say, my burden is light, it reminds you that it is actually possible to share your responsibility. It shows you that at every moment, instead of trying to cope in your own strength, you can receive support from him. This brings serenity to the depths of your heart. Hope sprouts instead of dark thoughts. When a person's inner world is refreshed, the outside world ceases to loom large in their eyes. The problems you face become more manageable because you are no longer alone. All these are the results of the true rest that comes from the inner journey you share with him. In the most exhausting period of your life, Sometimes you stop and ask, why am I trying so hard? Because in the dark corners of your mind, there is a finish line that you feel like you will never reach. You're constantly making goals, projects, and plans, overestimating what's next. But as Jesus says, you don't have to run this endless race on your own. He is invited into your life to stop, take a breath, and gain a new awareness. Come is the invitation of a guide who will be with you every step of the way. When you feel lonely and helpless, listening to his voice illuminates the path you walk. Because his message is always full of hope and comfort. It is a balm for your tiredness and an answer to your worries. Thus, the feeling of being stuck inside is replaced by spaciousness and peace. Does saying yes to his call mean letting go of your burden completely? Not exactly, because we have to fulfill some responsibilities. But you no longer carry these responsibilities alone. You find strength in him. When the burdens are lighter, the tasks are easier to fulfill, because spiritual calmness is the key to physical strength. When the mind is calm, it is more possible to focus and find new solutions. Receiving the support Jesus offers helps you to take firm steps on the path of life. I am with you, whispered in your heart at every step, softens all your fears. So instead of giving up in the face of difficulties, you continue on in hope. His invitation is not to throw away your responsibilities, but to walk together. This deep peace within you was perhaps exactly what you were looking for. Years of struggle had exhausted you emotionally and spiritually as well as physically. You were looking for a formula to relieve this fatigue, a vacation, a break, or just a little longer sleep. But the real serenity you were looking for was in the invitation of Jesus. A short time with him is far more effective than any physical effort, because it restores your soul, calms the storms raging inside you, and gives you a renewed perspective. With this perspective, you can reevaluate your goals in life and rearrange your priorities. The tranquility he offers is not just a momentary relief, but a lasting spiritual balance. Thus, you move on in life from a more grounded and hopeful place. In this place of peace, you rediscover the small details that give meaning to your life. In conclusion, Jesus' call offers healing not only to weary bodies, but also to weary souls. It embraces us like a safe harbor in the chaos and confusion of each day. Most of our burdens are full of weights that we don't need to carry. Choosing to let go of these weights is the first step to liberation. His yoke is light because there is love, mercy, and infinite understanding. He is a guide who gives direction when we feel lost and opens his arms when we feel helpless. He reminds us that we deserve to stop and rest at regular intervals in order to continue on the journey of life. Heeding this invitation means accessing a permanent source of peace and renewal. It is like a divine breeze that removes fatigue forever and revitalizes us. Now is the time to say goodbye to all your weariness and enjoy true rest in his arms.